All right, welcome back. So we are going to take off from where we stopped, but before we do that, let me just have a little bit of formatting. So here I'm going to have take home. Let me just say pay. Let me say pay. So this column is going to represent his pay, but before that, I should just have one that says breakdown. So I'm coming to home and I'll make this and type in breakdown here to show the breakdown. So here I'm going to have his actual pay. Then I'll have his tax, then pension, and I think he has also insurance. Like for each of the columns, we have room for insurance. So before that, let me, okay, because we have this, I'm going to join these two to make one cell just for good looks. I'll do that too for here and from that. So here we are. Now that I have this, I have actual pay is insurance. Let me give a little bit of formatting so it looks fine. I'll come back home. We already know how to do this. Then style and style this as heading. Then I also want to style this as heading. So I'm going to come home and style, have that as heading. All right, so we can do the rest of the formatting later. So now I want to have his actual pay. For each of the customer ID that is given, we have ID number one, ID number two. I want to pull up the person's the person's actual pay. So what's gonna be the person's actual pay? Now each day this person works, this is wage per day. So wage per day just gives us a list of values that are paid to individual per day they work. So if this person works 26 days, that means we're gonna have 26 multiplied by the value that's the wage per day. This one had 52, so we are going to have 52 multiplied by 12,200, which is the value. So what am I going to do to retrieve that? Already I have this given as our ID. So I'm going to write a VLOOKUP, which is going to be equals VLOOKUP. So this VLOOKUP again, what are we looking up? I always want to look up this employee ID, which is employee ID 7. So I'm going to hit this to have that ID 7. So this is what I want. Let me still log them, the value there. We log that and also log this. That's a lookup value. Now, where am I looking up that value? I'm looking up that value within the whole of this array or table. So after that, which column are we looking up? We know the first one is for the ID. The second column is the employee name. The third column is the department. The fourth column is going to be the number of days. So since we need the number of days multiplied by the his wage per day, so that means I'm going to pull up this and multiply by this. So to do that, I'm going to count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is on column 4. I'll type in 4 here and also say false because I need an exact value. So close that up, hit enter and check. So with this, we've been able to see that number 7, that's employee with employee ID number 7 has worked for 12 days. So that's what I just checked. Now, because we've retrieved this 12, we are going to also retrieve the value for how much is being paid and multiply that together. So I'm going to have this asterisk and I'll write another VLOOKUP. So exactly the same thing I've written. So I can easily copy this, place them here because they are basically the same thing. The only difference between this is for the first one, I'm looking up column number 4, which is the number of days worked. For the second one, I'm looking up column number 5. So here, I'll change this to 5. So once I have this as 5, I can go ahead and lock this up. So basically what this is doing, the first lookup is looking up this column, which is number of days. The second lookup is looking up this column, and we know to get our actual pay, we multiply the number of days you work by the wage per day. So doing that, I'm gonna hit enter, and sorry, that was not what I meant. I'm gonna hit enter here, and we have this value. So that means this person, that's number 7. So to check if it works as expected, I can move this to ID number 1. So this changes to Chukwu Evans. Chukwu Evans is in number 1, and 26 multiplied by $5,200 should likely give us this. Maybe you can confirm on your own. So that is how to get this. Now to get for his taxation, we know to get for his taxation is 4%. So we're going to apply 4% to how much he has already. You can also do some long math, which is for each of them, you multiply by this percentage, but I think that would be laborious. I'm simply going to write 4% multiplied by this value. So how do I do that? To write 4%, the 4% is not steady for each of them. So we have to be looking them up. So what I have to do is to say what equals this value now multiplied by I'll write another VLOOKUP. I'm looking up whatever is contained in this column. So I'm gonna write this VLOOKUP. What am I looking up? I'm looking up whatever is contained in this value. So I can still look that up as usual. Then where am I looking them up? I'm looking them up in the whole of this table. What's supposed to be the column number? This is column number 6 because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this always falls on column number 6. I'm going to supply 6 and hit exact. I mean exact, which is false. Then close that and hit enter. So this tells me that this person is supposed to pay $5,402 on the 135,200, which is his actual pay. So this is deducted. Now, finally, to get his pension, this person pays 8% pension. So almost the same thing we did for the tax, we do same for pension. So I'm gonna multiply this by the percentage for the pension, but pension happens to be on our column number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what should I do? I can say this is equals this value. I can actually copy from those other I can copy from those other stuffs, but just to write it many times so you get used to it, I'm gonna still write that. So this is gonna be this value multiplied by VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. I'm looking up this value as always, where I'm looking them up in this range of cells, and the column number is gonna be 8, like I've shown before, and I also want an exact value, so I'll choose this false and close that. So with this, we get how much he's paying for his pension. So 10% of this value is gonna give us this. Simply, this is the value multiplied by looking up how much is due this person. So this 8%, we have that there. Now the other one is insurance. So for each day he pays this amount of insurance. So what do we do to get the insurance? We just multiply the figure we have here by the number of days he has worked, because each day he gets a pay. One $100 is deducted from his pay. So for him to have worked 26 days, that means 26 times $100 is going to be deducted. So to write that, I'm gonna say this is equals VLOOKUP. By now, it must have gotten, we are used to what we are doing because it's just more like we are repeating ourselves. So that's the value. Which table are we taking that from? We take that from this table. And finally, what's the column number? The column number for his insurance is column number 7. If we count that, it's going to fall on number 7. Then do we need an exact value? That's exactly what we need. We close that. So let's hit enter. So that retrieves $100 for us efficiently, but that's not what we need. We need $100 multiplied by the number of days he has worked. So based on that, I'm still going to write another VLOOKUP. But now permit me to copy this because it's exactly the same thing, and have asterisk then V. So what I just did is multiply this by exactly this, and because that's on column number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is on column number 4. I'm going to change this value to 4. So changing this value to 4 effectively retrieves 2,600, because 26 multiplied by 100 is going to give us 2,600, $2600. So that's that for this. Now, since we have his actual pay and we know he is going to pay this as tax, and this goes into his pension and this goes into insurance, to get the value that is his take home pay, I like to call this a take home. Let me just call it take home pay. So to get his whoever's take home pay, what we do is subtract this value from this value, subtract this value from this value, and also subtract this value from this value. It's more like we have this value, so this is gonna be equals this equals this value minus his tax, minus his pension, minus his insurance. So whatever is left is what that person takes home. So for this person, which is a customer number 1, this is his take home pay. This is his actual pay, 13,000. That's a hundred 135,200. But the actual money this person is taking home is 11,000 116,376. So if we drop down this value again to 2, it now retrieves this Annabelle Shidima, and this is what he's supposed to take home. Let me expand that and expand this to have a better look. So that's that. I think this should come as a, so this should come as a, these values should come as, let me format them as, nope. So I'm gonna format these as body and have this as heading. Okay, this join. So that was basically what I was trying to show us yesterday. That was basically what I was trying to show us yesterday. So I can have this as a custom heading, and maybe this. So this is that. Of course, from the sheets I've prepared it such that anyone that has a, or let me have this in the next video. So let's stop this here, and we'll meet in the next video.